Photo Equipment, Part 2, Requirements. Presentation for the Advisor. Revised 2023, Revision 2, August. Requirements is the second video in the equipment series. What we will cover: major factors for gear selection, determining your requirements, including looking at away games, sample kits, and a summary. Major factors for gear selection: budget, your requirements, and human factors. Budgeting. You don't want to overbuy and spend too much money. On the other hand, you don't want to underbuy and find that your kit cannot do what it needs to do, because then you have to buy more gear. So you need to determine your requirements, then buy to your requirements, and plan over time to fit your budget. Requirements determination. First, I want you to list the sports and events that you know about. Don't worry about the items that you forget about. You can always go back and update it. For each sport or event, you will be indicating the venue and lighting condition: day, night, gym, or indoors. You will see more about this later. This is the sample matrix that we're going to be putting together. Down the left side, the sports and events that you are shooting. Across the top, the lighting condition: daytime, night under lights, gym, or indoors. This is an example at School A. We do not have a gym. We do not have outdoor lights. Football, soccer, baseball, and swimming are done outside during the day. Basketball and volleyball, we have no gym. We play that outside in the sun. So everything is a daytime situation. Now we add School B. Look at School B. They have lights. So some of the football and soccer is held under lights. Basketball and volleyball, they have a gym it's played in. So we have a different set of situations. School B has requirements that School A does not have. This is what I meant about requirements. School A does not have to worry about shooting under lights or indoors, where School B does. This is a quick summary of the three primary lighting conditions. First, daytime. No problem. You have lots of sunlight. Most cameras and lenses will work just fine. Next, field night. Under lights. This includes daylight to night. You start with the sun up, but the sun will set during the game, and you finish the game at night under lights. At night, you have significantly less light than daytime. The amount of light can vary by venue. One school may have more light than another. Equipment selection and technique is important. Gym and indoor, significantly less light than daytime. Like outside under lights, amount of light will vary by venue. Equipment selection and technique is important. School C, we have a different situation here. We do not have lights on the field or lights on the pool. So football, soccer, baseball, and swim are held during the day in sunlight. We do have a gym, so basketball and volleyball are played in the gym. Now we put a twist on this. We include the away games. Look at football. Home, JV and varsity, daytime. Away, JV during the day. But for varsity, we're playing at night under lights. Soccer, home, JV and varsity, daytime. Away, JV and varsity is at night under lights. Same thing with baseball. Home, JV and varsity is daytime. Away, JV and varsity are at night under lights. Swim. We have an outdoor pool during the day. But away game, it's an indoor pool. Cheer. Cheer goes wherever the team's going. So if football, you're going to an away game, cheer is going to be at an away game. Away games. Do and will you shoot at away games? Do you have a policy to just shoot at home games? In 6 years, I have shot at only 2 away football games, and of those 2, only 1 was a night game. And these are the 2 games. Number 1, deciding game for our division championship. Number 2, it was a day game. Anytime I have a chance for a day game, I am taking it. So, if we look at just the night games, there was only 1 game in 6 years. Will you follow history or will you change? There are reasons to shoot at away games. Considerations for shooting at away games. It is a day game. It is so much easier to take pictures of sports in sunlight than at night. Give me a chance to shoot at a day game, I will take it. Next, there are just a few games or meets in the season. At my school, sports with few games or meets are wrestling. Look at the chart on the right. We only have 4 games in the entire season, and of those 4, 1 is a home game. Track and field, not quite as bad, but still, we only have 1 home meet. Dive, that is the worst of the bunch. There is only 1 meet in the season. Next, the only home game meet is the last one. Never wait till the last game to take pictures of that sport. Murphy's Law says if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And here are some examples. Your camera battery is dead. Your memory card is full. You forgot your memory card at home. You have the wrong lens. You can't get to school. You arrive at school at 1 p.m., but the meet was at 10 a.m., so you missed the meet. The meet was the day before. Again, you missed the meet. An outdoor game was canceled due to rain. Bottom line, if you missed that last game, you have no pictures of that sport. Next item, uniform color. Generally, home is white, away is color. The exception in my district is soccer, where home is color and away is white. There are game-to-game exceptions. Look at the picture on the right. Where does your eye go to? The eye will naturally go towards red. But in this case, red's the opponent. We're in white. Maybe not such a good picture because you don't want your viewers to look at the opponent. You want your viewers to look at your athletes. So, what do? Consider what color the opponent team is wearing. If it's red, maybe you simply do not shoot that game. If they're wearing blue or green or black, fine. It's not a distracting color. If you're going to play this team, better that you go to an away game where instead of them wearing red, they are in white and you are in color. Weather. To get any game picture when it's not raining, you may have to go to an away game. Remember, cameras do not like getting wet. If water gets into the camera, it can be damaged. Problem winter season is rain. We have had rain from December to February. Basically, if there is a break in the rain, you shoot the game wherever the game is. You want to get any game. In the spring, there is another wrinkle to this. If there is a home game that is postponed, it may be postponed to after your final deadline. So again, to get any game picture, you may have to go to an away game. And finally, championship games. You have no control over where championship games are played. You go wherever it's being played. Sports and lens planning. Remember this chart. It shows the away games and the home games. Now we put onto that chart the lens for each sport and venue. Look at this chart. Except for bowling, all the locations where you are using a 70 to 200 2.8 are away games. What does that mean? That means if your school does not have bowling, you do not need that 70 to 200 2.8. This is what I meant about requirements. If you don't go to away games, you don't need that lens. You can save a chunk of money by not buying that lens. But what about the theater? If you have a theater, you may need that lens. But then again, do you have a theater? This is a generic camera and lens kit just to show you what a kit may look like. Once you go through your requirements, your kit may not look like this. First, camera, high ISO level, 25,600. This is to handle night and gym games and dim events theater. But like we went through on the requirements, if you do not have night games under lights and you do not have a theater, you do not need a camera that can go up to 25,600. You can go much lower. So again, what you have to do is look at your requirements. Next item, lenses. In this case, we're just looking at APS-C lenses. General purpose, 18 to 135 or 140. Daytime long, one of 3 lenses or more. 18 to 400, 75 to 300, or 100 to 400. Each lens has pros and cons. In low light, gym, 17 to 50, 2.8, 35, 1.8. In the field at night, 70 to 200, 2.8, or 70 to 200, f4. In the theater, 17 to 50, 2.8, 70 to 200, 2.8, or the 70 to 200 f4. We'll talk about the 70 to 200 f4 later. Sample kits. So what does the previous look like for a specific camera? Here we have 2 sets of cameras, a DSLR, we're using a Canon T8i, and a mirrorless Nikon Z50. So for both of these cameras, we have the lenses listed, general purpose, a daytime long lens, a gym lens, and a night field lens also used in the theater. And we have other. In the case of the other, for the Nikon Z50, it's an FTZ adapter to allow you to use the F lenses on the Z camera. Human factors, standardization, KISS. Keep it simple. It is easier for the staff to use one camera brand and model than 2 or more camera brands and models. A common control interface makes using the different cameras easier. You want cameras using the same battery so you don't have confusions with putting the wrong battery in the wrong camera. And you want cameras with the same lens mount so you don't get mixed up going to the field with a Nikon lens and a Canon camera. Cannot work. Human factors: weight of gear. Staff: consider the size of your students. Many students are under 5 feet tall and less than 100 pounds. Most yearbook staff are not athletes. What is easy for you as an adult to handle will be difficult for a much smaller student. Carry time: 5 minutes in the classroom is not like 2 hours on the field. The longer you hold the gear, the heavier it feels. Lesson learned: if the gear is too heavy for the students, like the 70 to 200 2.8, they will not use it. Our lens sat in the cabinet for over 2 years because nobody wanted to lug it around. And a lens just sitting in the cabinet is a total waste of money. Summary: you need to determine your requirements. My requirements are probably different than yours. So, a kit that works for me may and probably will not work for you. Away games: will you go to away games? And will that have an effect on your gear requirements? Human factors: don't overlook the human factors of simplicity and weight and bulk. The end. Please continue to Part 3, lenses. Please like and subscribe.